Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. This week, presented to you by MeUndies. I want to say thanks to MeUndies for being the presenting sponsor on this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast. You heard me talk about MeUndies. You know, I'm a big believer in their product. They're the perfect balance of comfortable fit. Every month, they have new and exciting prints, and they arrive at your door in a fun bag. They're super comfortable. I wear them all the time. It's like the official Gus endorsed underwear. That's all I have. MeUndies uses lensing micromodal in their underwear. It's sustainably sourced, naturally soft fiber that starts with beechwood trees and ends with the most amazing fabric you've ever experienced. 100% satisfaction guarantee. MeUndies guarantees you'll love their undies or your money back. MeUndies has a great offer for our listeners. For any first-time purchasers, when you purchase any MeUndies, you get 20% off and free shipping. MeUndies is so sure you'll love their underwear, they offer 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you don't love your first pair, you get a full refund. It's a no-brainer. Get 20% off a pair of the most comfortable undies you'll ever put on. To get your 20% off of your first pair, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/roosterteeth. That's MeUndies.com/roosterteeth. Also want to give a big thank you to Squarespace and Casper, who are also sponsoring this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast. Okay. They're up there. We love you guys too. I'm Gus.
I'm MeUndies.
I'm your undies.
Hello. I'm Bernie.
And I'm Gus.
Did you skip your and I'm Gus last week?
I did. I missed it.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Threw you off.
It did. And then people pointed out I'm in the Rooster Teeth chat. People pointed out in chat immediately if I miss it.
They gave you the benefit of the doubt though. They said he said it very quietly and then laughed.
No, I didn't say it.
No. I was going to call it out at the moment.
I missed it.
Did you go back in and ADR it in?
I should have.
I feel like you should have made that effort.
Have you ever considered just kind of weaning it out? Just like stop doing it.
I think HR would be mad at me if I weaned it out. If I came to work and weaned out.
What's the word I'm looking for?
You said it right.
Is it the right word?
Right.
Okay.
Have you ever thought about legally changing your name to Gus and Gus Sorolla?
Oh, that's a really good idea.
You should do it.
Can you have the same first and middle name?
He'd have to go Gus and Gus and then
have
come
an
back
ampersand
around.
in your name?
Gus.
What if I change my name to Gustavo Gus Sorolla?
Yeah. You can have the same middle name. Why not?
What is your middle name right now?
Raul.
Oh, damn. See?
You knew it. You said it.
Gus is a good middle name too.
Yeah. Gustavo. I might do that. I like it.
How much does it cost to change your name?
I think when Jeff did it was only like a couple $100.
What about Gustavo Goose Gus Sorolla?
I like Goose. You should stick a goose in there.
You should definitely have a goose.
Yeah, I like this. I like,
you know how
this
countries have an official animal? Can people?
Could people have official animals?
Yeah,
or
like
countries
pets
have
are,
official
right?
people.
But like, could your animal be the goose?
I could do that. Yeah, sure. Why not?
So everyone knows Jeff changed his name to Jeff Ramsey from a different name. But they also know his name is Jeff Laser Ramsey.
Which was also...
Here's a trivia question. You two know him so well. What was Jeff's original middle name? Do you know?
I know.
Do you know?
I could find it up there somewhere. I don't know off the top of my...
Should we let you wait? Do you want a British minute?
It was Fink that was the original last name,
His
right?
original last name, yeah.
Oh, if you had to ask that, if you had to ask for clarification on that, you're fucked to the middle
No, but
name.
I'm just like clarifying it so I could think of what a middle name would go with that. Jeff...
You're never going to
I don't think it doesn't fit him at all.
You're not going to guess.
Think.
Yeah, there's no way.
What was it?
What was the
Gus?
first letter? What was the first letter?
Helper?
P.
P?
Yeah, that's correct.
Philip?
See, that was Bernie checking if I actually knew or not.
It was. A little bit.
Jeffrey Philip Fink?
Was it Paul?
You nailed it. You fucking nailed it.
I knew it was up there.
Oh.
You
Yep,
just had to have the first letter to figure it out.
He dug around and found it.
Although Philip Fink is a pretty cool sounding name.
Philip Fink. Well, Fink's a tough last name. I have to admit. He pulled it off really well, but it is a tough last name. There's a story we haven't talked about, but that I have been watching very closely, and that is the superintendent of the Katy Independent School District down in Katy, Texas, which is right outside of Houston. It's like a suburb. So it's like Houston, but only white people are allowed to go there. And their superintendent is under fire for being allegedly, a bully his entire life, like his whole school career.
I saw that video.
Yeah, and the reason I bring up the Fink connection is the guy who came, I guess, before a school board meeting and completely called him out on it. Like, talked about him shoving his head in a urinal when they were in school together.
Oh my God.
His last name was Gay, and he had to change his name because he got so just abused by these idiots, I guess, in the 80s or early 80s or late 70s. Just got abused by them. They ended up having to change his damn name and or go by a different name, and I officially legally changed it. But and apparently they've gone and found other people. Like, they went all the way to somebody in the South, not in Texas, but they went somebody who also was bullied by this guy, and he's like under fire for this.
The guy, it's really, God, that video is hard to watch, where the guy goes up in front of the school board and talks about it, and he talks, because he approaches it, he tells a story about how he was bullied in school and tells all these stories, and then he ends it with, and that bully was you.
Yep.
Superintendent so and so, you bullied me the entire time.
Did he know that was coming?
I don't know. The superintendent just kind of sitting there, and then when the guy's done telling his story, like the superintendent just laughs.
Yeah.
Like there's no apologies, no he doesn't say anything. He just laughs.
Is he still in? Like, does he still have that job?
I believe so.
Yeah, it just seems to be one of those things that's like.
I feel like that kind of job is perfect for a school bully, though, because they get to essentially bully around kids for their entire life that way.
And then teachers too.
Yeah.
You go up.
Never understood bullies at school. Like, what was the point?
No idea.
Well, being a bully.
I mean, usually things going on in their life that they had to somehow get the energy out on someone else.
Yeah, just spread it to 10 other lives.
Yeah.
Were you bullied at all?
Yeah.
How about you guys? Bullied?
Oh yeah. I mean, look at this. Come on, let's be serious.
I see the photo of you with the trapper keeper.
Yeah. I was not the most popular guy at school.
Yeah, I punched the screen out of instinct. Just
I was
trying to grab you by the neck.
I was bullied by the older girls in school a lot, but I was also beat up by a kid in my grade in 4th grade.
You got beat up?
Yeah.
You got hit in the face?
I got punched. He would slam my head into lockers with my hood on my winter jacket. One time he kicked me when I was on the ground.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Jesus.
this kid got expelled, and then years later, actually, he messaged me on Facebook apologizing.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I did not respond. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of person this guy grew up to be. I just don't want him to know that I exist. or
Yeah, I've
anything
been
like
getting that a lot going back to England for Christmas usually. And Christmas
People
Eve
grab
is
your head and
usually-
slam into a locker.
Yeah, they just
you're too old for
straight into the bar. They because it's Christmas Eve, everyone goes out drinking. And there's a ton of people who are just real schmucks, real bastards to me back in the day, who are just all about trying to get to know me now. It's like,
I bet they are.
what's in it for me at this point? What's the point? You've done the damage.
So it's in no way because they just feel bad about it, but do you think it's because of your notoriety and everything?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
I don't think they feel that bad.
People who've wronged you earlier in life will always want to come back and make amends for it. It's like, just stay away. Just stay
Yeah,
away.
I don't even want any revenge in any way.
Nope.
It's just like,
nope.
nah.
Yeah.
I've got plenty of other people I can go and talk to.
Just focus on the positivity, on the good stuff. Yeah, that was a really tough video to watch. Hey,
Dr. Lance Hint is his name. Hindt.
That's the superintendent?
That's the name of the superintendent.
He's a doctor?
Dr. Lance Hint. Yeah.
Hint.
Speaking of
Doctor of wedgies, oddly enough. Who couldn't have seen that
speaking
coming?
of bullying,
Doctor of wet
I
willies.
think I'm going to have a bit of an unpopular opinion here.
Dr.
You?
Wet William.
I like bullies. No, I'm kidding. No,
What's wrong?
No, I'm just kidding. I saw something that was kind of disturbing last week. That maybe it just bothered me. I don't know if it bothered anybody else. But Mark Zuckerberg had to testify in front of Congress for all this Facebook privacy breach stuff. And obviously, Facebook's very much in the wrong here. People need to find out what's going on.
He's made some questionable business decisions, you could say.
I don't like how much fun everyone made fun of him for being socially awkward. Like, I'm a socially awkward person.
Or the booster chair, too.
Right. Like, I can't imagine having to sit there in front of Congress and go through what he went through. And then people are, calling him Zuckerbot or, photoshopping him as Data from Star Trek or just really emphasizing how awkward he is. And it's like, I can sympathize.
I think that's one of
with that.
My least favorite things about the internet whenever there's something going on like this where there's a lot of people to blame, I think, in this whole situation. And people obviously take their anger out on this person who owns Facebook. But to attack him for those types of qualities, I think is just unnecessary.
Yeah, it's personal stuff. It's ad hominem attacks.
It's not the issue, right? It's like you're making things up or claiming these things about this person or making fun of them just to make yourself feel better about the situation. But it's doing nothing. It's adding nothing to the conversation or doing anything.
People make jokes about everything. I'm sure they're not going super personal on him because they don't like him or they think he's that bad. It's just a funny joke to make, I guess, to replace him with Data from Star Trek.
It just seems like bullying.
The booster chair thing, where people were, he had a pad on his chair, and people were posting photos that he needed a booster chair to talk to Congress. I mean, that's what are you getting out of that?
Yeah. Maybe that chair didn't go with that desk. Maybe it was designed for a lower table.
Everything in the federal government probably was built in 1940, and they haven't bought a new one since.
Right. Yeah.
When I had the very fortunate occasion to go to the White House for the President's Committee on Climate Change for Millennials, which clearly I fit in with, and they were trying to.
Was that with this administration?
No, that was with the previous administration, and surprisingly, we have not been invited back for our third follow-up meading.
Would you go back if you were invited?
That's a really good question. I would say no, but a good friend of mine asked me that question, and she'd been to the White House a couple times. during the Obama administration, Hannah Hart, and she asked me, or maybe I was just telling the story and said I would definitely, of course, I wouldn't go back if it was Trump, and she really fucking called me on it.
Really?
She goes, what? She goes, no. She goes, just because you don't agree with him, you should, if you have an opportunity to make a positive impact and a good change, you should go do that. And I was like, fuck, you fucking school.
I disagree with that. There were all those tech CEOs who set up in that tech council with him, who realized that they were having no change and no effect, and they all withdrew from it because they saw that it was just a figurehead. They were just there to try to have like a PR spin, and there was no actual change occurring.
I get that, but you still have to go to do that. I can't assume that's going to be the case. I should still go back, and if they're like saying, okay, so we need you guys to talk about how coal can be clean, and it's no big deal, and we can relax. The EPA is holding back the economy. I'd be like, all right, I'm not in with this.
Okay, so you got to at least put the effort.
Take the chance.
Yeah,
and then see.
My knee-jerk reaction of no, I'm not going. Okay. I had a friend call me on it. I'm like, they're absolutely right.
But do you think anyone there is listening? Do you think anyone there is going to even be open to any opposing opinion at this point? Like if you did go there,
I don't think so now. I mean, this was just after the election.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the point I was going to make is the White House is not that, like, fancy. I mean, you think of it, I think of it as like the American Palace, but it's really kind of not. It's
just a house.
It's a little rundown.
It's no Mar-a-Lago.
Like, and they didn't build for certain stuff. Like they didn't predict certain kinds of technology. Like, for instance, in the men's room is a copy machine because that's the only place.
Now that's ridiculous, though. Like, isn't that ridiculous?
That is totally ridiculous.
Put it in any other room. Yeah. I could find a better spot for that copy.
Well, it's like you can multitask. It's like, shit, I need to make 20 copies, but I also need a piss. You like start it and then go take a piss, and when you're done, your copies are ready.
Yeah. It'd also be great to be a female employee working at the White House. You'd be like, so it's like, we need to make copies. She'd be like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed in that bathroom.
I feel like there might be a lot of copies of certain male genitalia.
That's an excellent point.
Come out of that
dirty.
room.
I was like, I'm not going to use the fucking deck copier.
Yeah,
gross.
I think Buckingham
Slap
Palace.
it up on the
I
copy
should have done
machine.
that. And then they pull it off and they go, did we re-elect Bill Clinton? Is he back?
I was going to say that'd be a great thing to leave at the White House. It's just a photocopied picture of your dick.
No, dude, I bet
they've already got copies of your dick at the White House. Don't worry. Well, not your dick, my dick.
My dick.
What was I going to say? Oh, they gutted the White House at one point. What was it? I want to say in the...
They burned that fucker to the ground.
Or in the 20s or 30s, I think there was a restoration effort where they just kept the outside and the inside was gutted. Like if you look at the construction photos, it's just like the walls are being held up to protect the facade, and then the inside's literally a hole in the ground.
Weird.
Like, they took everything out and gutted it
Because it burnt.
It was like they were trying to update it for that time, right? And I don't think it's been updated again since then.
God, that'd be expensive.
That being said, sorry, go ahead.
I think the Buckingham Palace restorations, because that's kind of shitty now. It's like hundreds of millions of quid.
Right.
That's crazy.
It was happening when we were there for RTX London, right?
That was Big Ben.
Oh, okay. I remember there was a lot of construction going on when we were there in London.
I mean, you might be right. I didn't go there for when I was last there.
But it was just like, I guess as a tourist, it's kind of disappointing because it's like when it's your first time there and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see the sights. And it's like, oh, wow. But covered up building.
I see that as being more historical because you could be like, look at Big Ben when I was there. Isn't that crazy? It was like a rare time when there was scaffolding all over it.
Beautiful.
The White House reconstruction was between 49 and 52.
49 and 52.
Yeah. They said, I guess it was just to try to get it updated to that time because it had been falling apart before that.
Do you think they have Google Fiber?
I'm sure they've got their own fiber.
Do they just have their own? What is the line to the internet for the White House? Do they just have their own cable?
Do they keep the internet in the White House?
No, it's by the copy.
I wonder if they save the browsing history at the White House.
I'm sure.
Well, I learned something interesting about the Syrian airstrike that we just did, where it was a coalition of all of our countries except for yours, Barb. America, UK, and France.
She's French.
Yeah, are you?
Well, there's people speaking French in Canada. We'll call her French.
So I'm Japanese.
And
America speaks Japanese.
Isn't Canada like a Commonwealth or something?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Part of the British Empire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
get involved.
military.
Get stuck in.
Your queen's our queen.
Yeah, you go. She's on the money.
Yeah. She is on the money.
So our forces bombed the ability for the Syrian government to create chemical weapons because there was evidence of a chemical attack. And it's a big fucking deal because this is like Cold War era conflict where Russia is backing the current regime and all the other allied forces, I guess for lack of a better term, are backing the revolutionaries that are there. And revolutionary is an interesting term because depending
There's
on what side you're on,
sides.
yeah, it's like we call them insurgents in Iraq and Afghanistan because we're backing the government that's there now.
There's also multiple rebel groups in Syria. There's not just like one unified front. There's various factions.
Those are such loaded terms when you say like rebel or revolutionary.
I have no idea.
But what I was trying to get at here was, and I'm sure people have a lot of opinions about whether or not a military action should have been taken. I think everyone can agree chemical weapons is just fucking horrendous. If there's actual evidence that chemical weapons were used against citizens, especially children, that's fucking horrible. And what can you do? But when you're talking about what's the internet connection, I learned about there's legitimately a hotline, and they contacted and notified the Russian government that these attacks were going to take place so that they wouldn't accidentally like bomb any Russian military presence there, because that would be a big fucking deal. But it's just like, it just goes to show once again, it's like we're on a different level than these people. Like they're calling each other, like they're going to bomb Syria. And it doesn't sound in any way like they notified Syria, hey, we're about to bomb this chemical factory, but they will notify another superpower. Right. You know, it's like, yeah, we're going to war, but listen. Hey,
we're not mad at you.
Yeah, we're not mad at you, right? Yeah. So it's really interesting.
He deployed them on what, Saturday of this weekend, or was it Friday?
I think that sounds right. Yeah,
I thought it was Friday.
I remember them mentioning it because I was just in El Paso for a convention. And the people who run that convention told us that there may not be a lot of people there on the Saturday and Sunday because El Paso is such a big military city, I guess. There's a base there. And so, like, half the people who were supposed to attend that day had to get deployed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to go to Syria, I think, for this.
They went to Syria? Or they were just, like, on standby ready to go?
They might be, yeah.
I think they're, maybe on standby.
Here it is.
Damn.
They're just like, expect there to be a lot less people there the next couple of days. It's like, damn. Just like that.
Is the Telegraph a reliable source of information in the UK?
The Daily Telegraph?
It just says the Telegraph. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, okay. It's not like Daily Mail, right?
No.
I did an interview with Daily Mail, and Gavin's like, what are you doing?
I mean, we're talking broadsheet or tabloid.
What's wrong with Daily Mail?
This is just their website. It says, Russia received a series of crucial warnings from America of the imminent airstrikes to a 24-hour hotline intended to limit the possibility of a direct military clash between the two superpowers. It has emerged. So, yeah, they were notified beforehand, which is just, I mean, I would think that if you're backing a regime, you're like, hey, we're going to bomb these guys in, the next 12 hours, that they're not going to go, okay, we won't tell them, And thanks for the call.
And is that a call that goes just to one of their phones, or is that a specific phone that rings for that moment?
It says they have a 24-hour hotline.
Imagine that phone ringing,
dedicated
you're just
purpose.
It's like you're the dude sitting there supposed to answer it.
Hello? What's up?
I mean, it's like obviously none of us are going to take that call, but it's like when somebody's going to break up and both people, and it's just like, I don't want this information. Like if our phone rang and it's like Russia goes, Poland, invading them again. Here we go. And you're like, oh, dude, should I call Poland? It's like, should I let them know? It's just.
They're like, hey, Poland, you might want to leave your windows open tonight.
Yeah, really.
So you could hear things.
Just kind of like be alert, you know? I'm not saying Russia should have made Poland by any stretch of the imagination.
You just say,
I'm glad you clarified, because otherwise they were going to get
Ukraine.
right on that.
Someone was already dialing.
Ukraine did, though. They pulled out of some friendly armistice with Russia after the event in Syria.
Ukraine has a friendly armistice with Russia?
I got to look up what the actual language of it. It even had the word friendly or some like really soft language. And I'm like, these people don't have a nice relationship of any kind. Why were they even in this agreement?
They were friends on Facebook in 2007, but
one of them poked the other like, hey, sorry I bullied you.
Were they ever Facebook official?
What?
Do people still do that?
Oh, like be in a relationship on Facebook?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We got.
You can.
Who uses Facebook?
Speaking of Facebook, I should have mentioned this with the Zuckerberg thing earlier. They finally have a tool that came out last week where you can check if you were affected by the Cambridge Analytica data mining.
Is the answer just yes?
Do you have to log in with your Facebook account to that site?
You do.
What kind of data did they take?
I don't remember off the top of my head. Let me.
I think
it's
just
it's
everything
people posted on Facebook.
Yeah.
There was more to it. I think there was more to it than that.
Weren't they logging
searches,
cursor movement as well, and everything?
Oh, really?
Maybe like were they taking data that people were like using on their computer to search for other things that they weren't on Facebook for? Because that would be a little weird.
You really want to fuck people over? take like their drafts, the stuff they don't post, and then just put it all out there. All the shit people write and go, you know what? I'm not gonna put this up.
How much for you to send all your drafts on Twitter right now?
Nah, there's no money that would do that.
I think I have 2 drafts.
I think I have like.
Do y'all really use it? I never use draft. I never use draft.
You never think about what you write.
Yeah, like if I have a draft, it's because I tried to tweet something and then it didn't go through and it just got put in my draft.
Yeah, for me, it's like I was halfway through writing a tweet, got distracted. It's never like a complete thought,
right?
Because I post those usually.
It's not like I'm gonna come back to this and work on it.
Yeah,
like for me, it's more ephemeral. It's like, oh, this is funny. I'll type that. Okay, gone.
I want to look.
Now
at
I'm
some
curious.
I'm totally going to look at my drafts folder right now. Where do I find my drafts folder?
Quickly checking. Oh, and there was that other thing that I guess Twitter was gonna change their API access so that third-party Twitter apps couldn't work anymore.
I saw that,
but people got really upset about it. I guess developers got really upset about it. So they said they've delayed it. They didn't change their mind. They're not going back on their effort, but they've delayed this API change. And as it is, it sucks already because I don't use the Twitter. I think the Twitter iOS app's garbage.
The Twitter.
I use Tweetbot.
The Twitter.com.
And as it is, even in Tweetbot, there's already some things that I can't do. Like I can't even see polls when someone posts a poll. So it's weird to me. Like I'll see a tweet.
They haven't updated that.
No, because that API access isn't available to non-Twitter clients.
Fuck.
So it's like I'll see someone make a tweet like that doesn't make any sense, and I'll have to look at it on the website or on the Twitter. Like, oh, there's a poll there.
So that explains all the people who respond to those tweets with the answer instead of just answering in the fucking poll.
Oh, I don't. Maybe they're idiots too. I don't know. I don't know.
That happens so often. I'm just like, just answer the poll.
I know sometimes I'll do that. That does happen to me sometimes.
I looked in my draft,
I'm looking at mine right now.
and one of them was it just said, "Whoa."
Yeah.
What was that about?
I found I think this one's my favorite draft. I don't know why I didn't post this. It says, I get emails from my wax place after booking an appointment that says, we can't wait to pamper you. Pretty sure ripping my hair out savagely is not pampering. I don't know why I didn't post that.
Tweet it right now.
Do it.
Do it.
Gem. That's a gem. Mine was, I wrote a tweet about Coachella. This is the top in my draft folder. I wrote a tweet about Coachella, how exhausting it is. Basically how exhausting it is to watch everyone else go to Coachella. And then someone goes, I don't know, man. It seems like you would be exactly the Coachella type. And I just replied to him, but I didn't send it, which is, yeah, maybe if Coachella was a convention of actual coaches, that would fit in.
That's pretty good.
But I just didn't post.
Too snarky?
No, I just didn't like, I thought the timing of it was weird. So on that one.
I did a tweet the other day that everyone thought was really rude, and reading it back, I guess it could have been, but it was kind of meant to be like a jokey tweet where someone who was asking me, how come when you're doing welding, you need the visor thing down to stop your eyes getting burnt or whatever the reason is. But why, when you're watching a video, does it not blind you through your monitor? And I thought, the same reason bullets shot at the camera don't come into your living room and hit you in the face. It was like a cheeky joke. And everyone was like, man, what a dick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very different situations.
Not really.
Not really.
It's a camera.
Yeah, I think they just
monitor's not bright enough to blind you.
No, I know that reason, but like it's that kind of like seeing something is very different than something physical like that coming out through you.
But you think about it, the light, there is a physical aspect to that that's damaging your eyes.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's not just photons. Oh, photons are.
I just think.
Never mind, I'm getting it over my head.
It was too.
Gus eject so fast. Out. I'm done. I'm not talking about this. Yeah, but I actually use Gavin. I don't use you so much, but I use Barbara all the time. I will send her tweets, and I just say,
used to do that to
I
me.
just say tweet check, and then I send Barbara a tweet, and she goes, "Okay, that's good. That's okay."
Or like, if I laugh at it,
or if she says, "I don't get this," or don't post that if it's
no.
Good.
I cleared one with you over the late last year. I was like, is this one in poor taste or not? And you were like, you probably shouldn't post that one. I was like, okay, thanks. And I never posted it.
I think like I usually have a pretty good gauge if like something is, I'm like, that'll probably upset someone. Probably not. Like, don't post it ever. Essentially, like if even just the slightest bit.
I was on the fence about it. That's why I sent it to you, and you were like, no, probably not. I was like, okay,
that's what I've learned over time. Even if you're on the fence about something, don't even take the chance.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to do any drafts? You don't have them? I got tons of them.
I had a draft that was just a photo of my dog.
Look how many of these I have.
Oh my God, Bernie.
Oh my
God. You've got a draft problem.
Tons of them.
You're a draft king.
I'm going to delete them all now because somebody hacks my account and finds my drafts.
Thank you. Too soon?
Oh, man. I got my my Model 3 invite finally.
This is true. At this point, if your avatar isn't a picture of your face, I just automatically assume you are 12 years old. This is true. Whenever somebody like complains to me or something and they have like a default avatar or an avatar of like a popular culture, figure, or even weirder, a picture of Barbara or Gavin or Michael as their avatar. I just assume that they're 11 or 12 years old, and I don't.
Bit harsh.
I don't argue with them or engage.
What if they just have really good tastes?
Yeah,
I'm assuming if they're not putting their face
why
on.
can't
That's what I'm
someone
saying.
who's a nice 25 years old have a picture.
I'm
going to
set my avatar to a picture of you, and then we'll see.
I assume if someone doesn't have a picture of their... I'm not calling you guys out. I'm saying if someone doesn't have a picture of their own face,
I'm always skeptical.
then I assume that they're 11 or 12 years old. There is another weird thing, not associated with that, where people will use a photo of someone else as their avatar. To me, that's strange.
Isn't that what you just said?
That's a little strange.
I just strange. I didn't say that assumes they're 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't blame people who don't have a photo of themselves because some people aren't too confident in the way they look, and that's understandable. But using someone else's photo does get very confusing.
But you can be not confident in the way that you look, but you're confident enough to tell someone they're a fucking asshole and be a jackass and fuck you on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm not trying to stand up for those people.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
gotcha.
Otherwise, I don't care if they're 11 or 12 and they're having a good time. Who cares?
Yeah.
I think you can filter it so that if they don't have an avatar, you don't see them.
Yeah, but okay. But there's still other classes of people that he's talking about.
But that's fixing that tiny little problem that
did-
Bernie had over there.
I don't know if I talked about this when we talked about Ready Player One, but I did notice a funny trend where the people who hated, I was playing a little game on Twitter, people who were talking about how much they were going to hate Ready Player One and the movie shouldn't even be made, I would always go to their account and either their avatar or their cover photo was almost every single time was a popular icon from like a picture of an anime character or something like that. It's like this is what the internet is. People use popular icons and IP to express themselves. But these are the people that were the maddest about Ready Player One. Almost, I'm serious, it was almost 100%.
Interesting idea.
Easily in the 90th percentile. I would just go check.
Hey, so I got my Model 3 invite.
For your Tesla?
For my Tesla.
Tesla?
Some people say. Yeah, I'm super excited.
I found out that I say Tesla.
Yeah.
Didn't even realize it.
So they said so I configured it last week. They said it'll be 3 to 6 weeks.
I say it both ways.
I got
Both.
I got it on the same day Jack did. What was it? And then someone else in the company also got it. 2 other people in the company also got it last
Did you
week.
put on credit card?
I should.
Can we say the person who got it first?
I
Are you going to out people as
I don't know.
buying new cars? Somebody else got it first.
I said it because I said Jack because he mentioned it on Off Topic this past week.
I think the other person posted. Anyway, no.
I don't know.
Did you
Don't get in
put
trouble.
any fancy crap in it?
Right now, you can't configure it too much. All you can basically do is pick the color. You get 2 choices of tires, and you can add enhanced auto driving features.
What color did you do?
It's like a silver color.
I hate to
Very bold.
publicize this,
Color.
but in the interest of being objective, I've been following very closely a social media influencer, a YouTuber, who has had solar panels and the Tesla Powerwall installed, and it's been nothing but a nightmare for the dude. And he's still trying to
That's
work on it.
something that he has in his house?
I think you guys know him. Yeah, it's the Powerwall is a bank of batteries, so that your solar power can collect energy all day, and then it just runs. Your whole house can run off solar. Kind of hard to do that if you don't have batteries to back up the power, because you use a lot of power at night.
What's the nightmare about it? I've seen people.
One of the
do that
batteries
at work.
exploded. That's not so good. And there's just general problems of like installation. And he's in California, I believe. You guys know him. Hike the Gamer. Remember Hike the Gamer was on our E3 coverage a couple years ago? Big YouTube live streamer. That's a really specific category.
Yeah.
I
And
have a question for you.
Yeah.
As someone who has an electric car.
yes, go ahead.
Do you ever park somewhere
Often. Sorry.
hoping to get one of those charging parking spots and it's taken by just a normal car?
No, it was really cool when I first got my car because I think they're still illegal to buy in Texas. Technically, you have to buy them through the website.
Correct.
But people weren't risking it back then, so there were very few Teslas when I originally got my first one. And those charging spots were fucking everywhere, and I had a free parking basically, or free like convenient parking typically. No, I don't worry about it too much. And like I don't fuss if somebody's in it because I also don't charge typically when I'm in the spot, which is technically what it's for.
Yeah.
But those fucking chargers they've got around here they're just garbage.
Do you need an adapter?
And I need an adapter, but that's because Tesla's fault for having a proprietary power port.
Should have been USB-C.
Proprietary power port. It's hard to say. Yeah, it should have been USB. Should have been USB-C.
Isn't that what I said?
That's what he said.
Oh, is it USB-C?
That's exactly
He
what
made that joke.
Well, I just said USB. I was following up on his joke.
I'd love to see someone try to charge a Tesla with a USB-C cable and the cable just melt.
I tried charging with a standard outlet, and I think it'll put about, and this is what these charging stations that are around here do, they put about 3 miles every hour on the car, which is not even like.
So if you go on vacation for 10 days, you'll have
you'll have a full charge. Whereas my outlet at home will put about 30 to 40 miles an hour on the car. So an 8-hour charge, I get about 300 miles on there.
Okay.
I think it's not cool enough yet, the charging part. I think that car is very cool, but until it just charges through the ground, up through the bottom of the car, or like
what if
something
the charger
goes,
was robotic? Yeah, and then like attached.
That would make it so much cooler.
I've seen that. That's what I was going to lead to. They're working on it. Yeah, I've seen video of the charging thing automated and plugging in on its own.
The reason I ask about the charging spots is because there are some parking lots near the office, in particular, that have very limited spacing.
Oh shit! I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and there are like 4 spots that are charging spots out of maybe like 20 spots. So, of course, all the other ones are usually taken. And often in this parking lot, I'm just going to go pick up a coffee and leave. Takes maybe 5 minutes. And so I'll park in one of those spots just really quickly. And I always feel like shit about it because I'm like, what if someone comes with an electric car and they need to charge and I'm in the spot and I'm going to get in trouble and all this shit.
It's one of the only places ever. I don't think I've ever done this in my life before. But you're talking about the Starbucks. It's right next to here, right?
Yeah.
So I have the app where you can pre-order stuff and it's just waiting on the counter for you.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
It's fucking incredible. So that is the only place where I've literally double parked right next to the door, ran in, ran back out. Like I recognize total dick move, but I've looked for a space in that fucking parking lot for like 20 minutes.
Everything about that parking lot's awful.
It's terrible.
It's really
that and the
terrible.
grocery store right next to it. I don't know, like if it's a combination of the people not knowing what they're doing and the parking lot being bad, or one is worse than the other.
It's a combination of the two.
It's like, oh my god.
And I think a badly designed parking spot makes people drivers even worse drivers.
Yeah.
So how long do you think you were in Starbucks?
35 seconds.
Yeah, it's literally waiting on the counter when you go in there, when you order online.
And I was like, the whole time I was essentially Gavin in my head, practicing the apology if I held somebody up for like 2 seconds.
I'm so sorry. I
was just literally, I never do this. And
did you get arrested while you were
But I'm sure they were just in there fucking writing their manuscript at the fucking Starbucks. Eating a crumb cake or whatever they do. What did she say? Crumb cake?
I asked you if you got arrested while you were in there.
No, I didn't get arrested while I was in there.
Events, and you're white, because so why would you?
What happened?
Unbelievable.
At a Starbucks?
Oh, you were at an event. You might not have heard the story.
No, I guess not.
It was at a Starbucks in Philadelphia, I believe.
Yep.
There were a couple of guys who were waiting for a friend of theirs to show up. And I guess the Starbucks employees were uncomfortable with them waiting. So they called the police and the police showed up and arrested them. And the dudes who were waiting and who were arrested were black.
And as they were being taken out of the place, their friend showed up to meet them.
And someone was filming like, why are you arresting them? They're just sitting there waiting for someone.
Yeah, I think all one of the guys did was that he has to use the restroom without buying something. So that was then trespassing.
In the store or outside?
In the Starbucks.
God, what the fuck?
But I'm curious to know what the thought process was in the people who called the police.
But also the police that would actually arrest them, not just be like, people are allowed to wait.
Well, I don't know what the legality is. Like it's a private business, right? So I think if the store complains, they can have someone eject. I don't know about arresting. Arresting seems like a fucking
they were in
huge overstep. But what's the thought process? Like the person's, he's not like just racist, right? He's not like, oh, I hate black people, I'm going to call the cops on these guys, right? Right? Like
he might have been.
Might have been.
Are we beyond? Are we not beyond that?
I think
Clearly not.
There is definitely a level of racism if a group of black people makes you feel intimidated and want to like call the cops on them. That's very underlying racism.
Somebody pointed out on Twitter about the people who were standing around like grilling the cops, going, "Why are you arresting them?" And they're all on this recording that somebody did on their phone. And like, why are you arresting them? What do they do? They're like, just get an explanation of why are they being arrested. And there's no explanation of it. Basic cops just telling them to get away. And somebody pointed out on Twitter that in itself is an expression of white privilege, even though it's a good version of it because they're trying to speak up for other people. But if there was more black people that are saying that, they also would have been arrested. You know, if they had been saying, why are you arresting these guys? They would have just arrested those people as well.
Yeah.
It's just...
I wonder who made that call from
unbelievable.
Starbucks.
Yeah, I know, right?
Can you imagine?
What were they thinking that led up to that?
And I was thinking it from a point of view of someone who was in PR or something for Starbucks, because I assume they just woke up and were just like, oh my God. Because you know the company doesn't have these views, supposedly. It's not all like staffed by racists. Mm-hmm. But how are you... I feel like that'd be the worst job ever to have for a company that has so many branches around the world. Like, if literally anything bad happens in any one of those places,
representative.
Your life sucks. And that's crazy, too, to think about. That's obviously not the problem with the whole issue.
I mean,
I was just trying to think about it from who was affected by that one person's decision in Starbucks?
And the hashtag, you might have seen this one, the hashtag boycott Starbucks was trending all weekend, and people were like, boycott Starbucks. It's like, even if, let's say Starbucks completely went out of business tomorrow, that's not going to solve the racism problem in America. There's something else that's core there.
It's not at the Starbucks level. I mean, it is on that level, but it's just way beyond that, company level as well.
Right.
Just in the underlying people of the country right now.
Now, Starbucks should go through and find out who made that call, find out why they did it, and then fire them if they can. Where did it take place?
In Philadelphia.
Oh, Philadelphia.
Yeah, I don't know exact circumstances, but that manager is no longer employed by Starbucks.
The manager is the one that called?
Yes.
There's certain states you can't get fired in. California, it's tough to get fired in California.
Texas is you don't need a reason to fire people.
It's a work-at-will state, which sounds like it's super pro-worker. Totally not.
Yeah.
It's the way they just
is it work at will or is it right to work?
Right to work. That's what it is.
Right to work. It's like, it sounds like, we have the right. No.
But that also means,
fuck you.
You could fire someone without reason, right?
Correct.
Fuck. Have I ever told you guys
how much? Right to work.
Have I ever told you guys how much I love working at Rooster Teeth and how great it is every day and how much I love you all?
Yes, I like this.
Here's the definition of right to work: relating to or promoting a worker's right not to be required to join a labor union.
Man.
Nice.
It's basically an anti-union law that is, or like, I don't know if it's a law, like philosophy that totally makes it seem like, oh, we're doing this for you.
Yeah.
That's just a very good piece of marketing on that name.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to read this. I want to remind everyone this episode of Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a domain, website, or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. Squarespace offers beautiful, award-winning designer templates. You can create a beautiful website or online store with an award-winning template. It's an all-in-one platform. There's nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever. They made it easy to set up or transfer your domain on Squarespace. Instead of working with multiple vendors to maintain your online presence, you're able to manage all your domain and billing settings with Squarespace and take advantage of their easy-to-use DNS interface. It's never been easier to sell products or services online. Squarespace allows you to manage your products, orders, and inventory easily. Squarespace can also provide you with a comprehensive set of marketing tools to engage your audience, get found across search and social, and grow your following. You can start your free trial today at squarespace.com. Go to squarespace.com/roosterteeth to get 10% off your first purchase. That's squarespace.com/roosterteeth for 10% off your first purchase. We've been asking you to share your Squarespace creator websites. We've gone through, pick some more of our favorites. And as a reminder, with Squarespace, you too can make sites like this. Be sure to tweet at us with hashtag RTSquarespace. Here are our favorites. First up, we got at Roget Brunk. Yep. Next up, we got at _Izato.
Rodzilla is the guy who he's done a lot of stuff. He's from the community, but he also designed the Achievement Hunter blind box figures.
Yeah, he did.
And last one is at Unrequested.
Nice.
So thanks for showing us your sites, and we appreciate it.
The
and
sites.
Popular Agora. What's that?
This episode of Rooster Teeth Podcast. What?
Sorry, I'm just excited about this. Sites.
What was I going to say?
Wasn't there someone who worked here that had a Squarespace site?
Oh, it was Dooley.
Yeah, but we fired him. It's work at will. I want to clarify a thing I said too about work at will. That's actually another philosophy. At will employment is a term used in U.S. labor law for contractual relationships in which an employee can be dismissed by an employer for any reason. That is, without having to establish just cause for termination and without warning, as long as the reason is not illegal. For example, firing because of the employee's race or the employee's religion.
So you could just be like,
in Texas, both at work at will and a right to work state.
So you could just be like, "You've done great work. Bye."
The thing I was always told was you could tell someone you don't want to work with them because you don't like their face. I just don't want to look at you. That's like something you could do. That's obviously a joke. You would never give that as a reason, but it's literally that easy to terminate someone's employment.
There was a 60-minute report, I believe it aired yesterday, about Allegiant Airlines.
But you watch it 60 Minutes.
You should absolutely watch this report. It'll make you never want to fly Allegiant Airlines. Talking about the lax safety culture and how many incidents this airline has constantly.
Fucking love it.
And how
safety-wise?
They fired a pilot for evacuating a plane. The plane was starting to take off. Okay, let's see if I remember this correctly. The plane was starting to take off. The cabin started filling with smoke. So they stopped. Oh yeah, they stopped. Actually, I take it back. They took off. They had to circle to burn some fuel. Actually, they had to circle because they had to clear the runway for them to land.
What, full of smoke?
They landed, and they declared an emergency. Fire truck met them at the runway, and fire truck confirmed, "We see smoke coming out of your number one engine." So the pilot says, okay, I'm going to evacuate the plane. Then an unidentified voice comes over the radio and says, do not evacuate your plane. And the pilot says, who is this? And the person would not identify themselves. And the tower had to intervene and be like, what are you saying? Who is this? And the pilot chose to evacuate the plane.
No way. Who was this person?
We'll get to that. They evacuated the plane, and Allegiant fired him because they said that the plane did not need to be evacuated. I guess because it looks bad because there's people jumping out on the slides.
Does it cost more money to deal with an evacuated
probably
plane?
a whole,
Probably.
Yeah.
And I guess apparently the person who was telling him not to evacuate the plane was one of the firefighters on a different fire engine.
But they did not. Why didn't they identify?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like there was no further detail on
At first,
that.
when you said a pilot got fired for evacuating a plane, I thought you meant like just before they were about to take off, he like pulled something and like jumped out of the plane.
Dived out.
Yeah, and then just took off without the pilot.
Yeah, but they said
He's
that
like ghost riding a plane.
Yeah.
I believe the figure they gave was that if you fly Allegiant, you're 3.5 times more likely to have an in-flight incident
That's fucking awesome.
than
that's
like
not
American,
necessarily
United, or Delta.
And that's not necessarily a crash or an incident with a plane.
Correct. It's like they outline it. It's like they have a ridiculously high number of like engine flame outs or
Fuck that airline.
hydraulic loss.
If memory serves me correctly, that's the same airline that also wouldn't give us credit or reimburse us for our flights to Vegas.
Yes.
When Monty passed away, and his funeral was going to be the day of our trip, so we were like telling them that we couldn't get on this flight anymore, and they said, "Tough luck, you're out the money," and that's it.
Yeah, I think
I think
normally with most airlines, like when you purchase a ticket, if you can't make the flight, like most of the time they won't refund you, but they'll give you credit. You're
that's
like,
all we wanted.
you can take it and just apply it to a different flight down the road.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the way that normally for people who don't travel a lot. Anyway, you should absolutely watch. It's about a 30-minute report, I think, or so on 60 Minutes about Allegiant Airlines. Super fascinating, especially for someone like me.
Could you fit an entire economy cabin into a formation where everyone can lie down?
I mean,
Could you stack people?
Sure.
If it's stacked, yeah. Okay.
Why aren't there more planes like that then? Why aren't there like
One more?
super-
How about any?
Why aren't there any planes like that?
well, it takes more space. A human takes up more space when they're laying flat as
Well,
opposed
no,
to...
No, they
stacked
don't.
on each
Human's
other.
a human.
I
How
think
does human take more space in one
Are they
configuration
heavier
versus
when
another?
They
they're
definitely
not
take
like
up more space. They take up more floor space.
But if you flatten them out, he's saying stack them.
How many stacks are we talking?
3 or 4?
How many can you fit? 3 maybe.
Y'all are fucking lunatics.
it was like-
and then you can't sit up. You've got to be laying flat the whole time.
Oh, that's the dream.
I think I'd rather take a flight lying down the whole time than sitting. the whole
Can you
time.
imagine flying like 17-hour flight, Houston to Sydney, and you can only lay down the entire time.
Would
Get up.
you?
Get up, walk
Okay,
around.
no, I'm on Gus's side. That kind of sucks.
Right, like you're like
All
oh,
you could do
I
was
am,
lie
like,
down.
This is it, and the fucking walls right here.
I
and
would sleep the whole time.
Look, okay, if there were some cabins where they took out the overhead storage and they were beds, I would buy that ticket.
Or what if you could buy an overhead storage bin just for you and then get in it and shut the thing?
That's pretty much exactly what I'm saying. Aside from,
But on a normal plane, you get a ladder,
Oh,
you get up in there and
I
like
have
shut
something
it.
that happened
well, the
to
dog
me.
suffocated in there.
Oh yeah, that's the other
Oh,
thing.
God.
United,
So you need,
That was United.
yeah. So you'd need to make sure they had airflow.
and they have a ridiculously high number of pet incidents.
Yes.
But I would
United.
love.
So pets can fly Allegiant, but pets should not fly United.
Yeah, the 3 times there's equal likelihood you'll have an in-air
Nobody should
incident.
fly.
If that was a ticket I could buy though for the same price as an economy chair, I would buy the overhead.
Would you buy a ticket on a plane if it was super cheap? If like the back half of the cabin was standing and you had like one of those subway loops
How long?
that you could hold on to, like 2 hours or something.
No.
You got to take off like that though too.
No, I can't
How
do
much
that.
cheaper is this ticket?
What if everyone was in one of those like clear plastic balls that you can like you know what I'm talking about, like
What?
the
You
Zoom
can't
balls
even
or
have
whatever.
your-
The
You
Zorbs?
can't even have your
Zorb.
fucking
You're like a
chair
hamster
back
and you're like
an
rolling
inch.
around the whole time.
That would take up so much space.
But it's like as you're taking off, everyone's in the back of the plane.
Yeah.
and then when you
And
come
then
down,
it clears, and then it goes to the
and then,
side.
like the whole time you're like hamsters, you're just walking around.
That'd be
What if there
funny.
was just one Zorb per normal economy and it would just roll around on top of everyone, but people who didn't want a Zorb on their head would just shove you
What if it's like one of those beach balls
Be like
passed
a
around the
hamster.
festival?
Yeah.
There was a woman on, it was a flight back from El Paso to Austin last night. I don't know how this happened. Maybe someone could explain this to me. She somehow managed to get like a check-size bag all the way onto the plane.
Yeah, they'll let you do it.
I don't know how it got through
What do you
security
mean they'll
and
let
through
you do it?
everything.
They don't stop you at security.
How do you
Security doesn't
X-ray it?
care.
They don't care.
They
They're
should
not
stop
like,
them at
that's
the
not gonna-
gate. Right.
At the gate, maybe.
But I don't know how she got it through. I think she maybe like scurried past the gate agents because she was trying to get it up, and she like tapped this guy on the shoulder next to me. She's like, "Hey, could you help me with this bag?" And it was huge, fucking huge. It took up like the space of 3 bags in one of the overhead compartments. And the whole plane was on except for a couple people. And one of the attendants got on and she goes, "What did I say about that bag? I said you had to leave it at the gate. Like, what are you doing? Get it down." And everyone was just like, because I was watching this whole thing go down and this woman is putting this checked bag up in the compartment. It barely fits and it's taking up room for everyone else's bag.
Wouldn't fit up there.
How did it?
Hers didn't. According to Barbara.
Maybe what they told her was,
X-ray.
maybe when she scanned her boarding pass, they might have told her you have to leave that at the door of the plane. You have to gate check it.
Yeah.
And then she tried to get it from there onto the plane real
weaseled it
fast.
on.
So if you're ever late for a plane, and they have a thing where they cut off your check bags. Like it's usually I think like 40 minutes before the flight, Gus. Sometimes some airlines,
something like that. Yeah,
15 minutes.
I've heard an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll cut you off. They'll say, "Well, you can't make this flight because you have checked baggage." If you're late for a plane, just say you don't have checked bags, and then do what's called a gate check. It's not any kind of like cheat in any way. It's you can go through security with a checked bag typically, and then a lot of times at the gate they will even say, "Hey, this is a full flight. If anyone wants to gate check,
It's free."
Yeah, their stuff will gate check it for free, and then something else. I don't know, whatever. They'll let you board sooner. Sometimes they'll do that as well. But yeah, you can. It's a way to if you're late, you can just walk up to the gate and say, "Can you gate check this?" And then they just have a little ramp right there.
There's a lot of weird loopholes like that. Like you
What?
can fly without ID.
What?
I forgot my ID once, and they searched through all my shit, and I just showed them a credit card with my name on, and they let me on.
I have clear.
yeah.
So if it's a clear airport, I can do
your
it.
ID, right? Just
Yeah.
fingerprints.
Although I never use it. It's like I don't know what it is, but I never clear was
I
the
love
thing
it.
we could jump the line. But every time I've been to the airport recently, there's no lines.
Oh.
Is it under construction?
Listen, this is a nice conversation about travel. We don't need to go to a negative place about it.
I love it. I use it all the time. I fucking
Good?
love Clear.
It's like $100 a year, but that seems like it's like,
TSA
what, $50
is
a
Travel a
month?
lot. Yeah.
Isn't TSA $80 a year
Is it?
or
I
something?
think it's for 5 years.
I think I get it with my credit
oh,
card because I have a travel credit card
Yeah, same here.
basically.
And if you have global entry, you get pre-check as well.
That's
I've
true.
barely flown this year. It's been great.
Me too.
I
Me
did
too.
go to Korea just now.
I feel like you've been all over the place.
yeah.
Weren't you
That
just
was
in
a
the
15 hour
UK?
flight.
And to Sydney, right? At the early part of the year?
No, I didn't go to Sydney.
Yeah.
I couldn't go.
Oh, you couldn't?
Nah.
Yeah,
We
he
didn't
wasn't
miss
there.
you, so that's okay.
I forgot he wasn't there.
Me too.
I heard on Twitter that at least one person missed me. So, thank you.
Oh, really? How was your mom?
Not in Sydney.
How do you do that? How do you foam it up so easily? Gavin's whole beard just
Oh
foamed
my
up.
god.
That one couldn't
I love the muffled sound your mouth makes with the foam in it. That's my favorite sound.
I want to say though, before we get too far away from the ad read
Yeah.
of Squarespace and our
We're pretty far
awesome
away from
community
it.
members, I know we are, who are doing these awesome sites. Did you hear what we're doing this year? That's different.
Red versus Blue season 16?
Go ahead. Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I just set that to be
You got it.
smug asshole.
So Red vs. Blue Season 16 goes up for first members, and then it goes public on the Rooster Teeth site. And there's currently no schedule and no date for its move on YouTube, for it being posted on YouTube. So Red vs. Blue is going to be on the Rooster Teeth site. I personally love that.
Exclusively.
I love it.
Yeah, I think some
At least
people
for
are
the time being.
still asking when it's going to be on YouTube.
They're
expecting it to be.
And I want to be clear, there's no plans to put it on YouTube at this point in time.
Yeah.
We don't have a date because we don't have plans to do it. I'm not saying we won't do it. We, in the past, Red versus Blue used to be on the RT site for a year before it would go up. In fact, when like season 8 was showing on the Rooster Teeth website, season 7 was what was currently airing on YouTube. We did that for a really long time.
Season 1 didn't go up on YouTube for a while.
Well, we didn't have an account.
YouTube didn't exist.
It didn't exist. Yeah, that was like
That was-
5
that
years.
was-
That was 5 years. So I love it
No,
personally.
that's really cool.
I do. And
I'm super excited
it feels
about.
very nostalgic.
I'm super excited about this season of Red versus Blue.
what's that?
I'm
Me
super
too.
excited about this season. I love.
Are you in it?
The intro is really cool.
I've been
I love
purposely
some of the
keeping
writing.
myself away from everything so I could watch it fresh
Yeah, it's.
and not have any sort of
God, I
idea.
can't wait till I can talk about the thing I'm doing right now. Remind me when it comes out to talk about it.
For
The
Red
thing,
versus
for Red
Blue.
versus
or-
Blue. Yeah.
Okay.
What else uses Beechwood?
I always think of like Budweiser.
Yeah, I was gonna see if these two knew it. But it's the only ever time I've heard of Beechwood is
Yeah.
Beechwood aged Budweiser.
I wonder if this one has it.
I think that I think
They
they
make a
don't,
big fucking deal about
they don't
it.
make they don't use that in their marketing anymore. I feel like
Yeah?
that was
No,
in their
just get it
marketing
out.
in like the 80s and 90s, or like late 80s,
Beechwood
early
aged.
90s. Yeah, I haven't heard that in a Budweiser commercial in forever.
I don't know
I
what
mean,
a
I see-
Beechwood tree looks like.
I see.
I wouldn't do it, but my beach would.
Nice. I sometimes I see beer ads that I don't get.
What?
Bud Light Lime. I guess Bud Light introduced another flavored version. Like, they have Bud Light Lime. Now they have Bud Light Orange. I saw a commercial for that the other day.
Oh, like the moon. What's the moon beer? The moon
Blue Moon.
Shock Top. Shock Top.
Shock Top
Oh,
is
right.
delicious.
They
Is
put
that
it with
orange?
orange.
Yeah.
I guess that's
Blue Moon
true.
too. They put orange in
How
Blue
do you
Moon.
feel about orange in chocolate flavor?
Yeah, okay.
Top.
You like
I wouldn't choose it over other chocolates, but I will still eat it.
That chocolate orange that you like smash into all the
Terry's.
slices? Yeah.
Do you
So
have a Terry's? Do you have Terry's?
Terry's chocolate orange,
sweet, yeah.
We had that in Canada too.
Damn.
my mom
Worldwide.
had weird tastes. Like she liked very specific stuff. And one of the first alcohols I ever got to try was Grand Marnier. So whenever I have chocolate and orange, it reminds me of that. And I think it's like super
I've
cool.
never even heard of that.
Grand Marnier?
Like, so there's these fancy like liqueur fancy drinks that are in the back of the drinks cabinets of your grandparents.
Yeah.
But when are they used? When are they supposed to be whipped out? Is
I
it
know.
for like Christmas? Like when would that be drank?
In case somebody asked for it. Yeah. I don't know. It's a good question.
Like a Grand Marnier specifically?
Yeah.
You like a liqueur? I know there's one that you like.
Which
Liquor number 43 that I put with the espresso to make a
Yeah.
make that funny. What's it called?
It's like
Carajillo.
Doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I think
Carajillo.
that's it.
Yeah.
Can't
Okay.
pronounce
You can
that.
believe so.
you can use Grand Marnier if you ever get a
Carajillo.
Mexican martini at Trudy's. You can ask them for a Grand Marnier float in it. Fucking awesome.
Oh, dude, I used to always get those, but
Yeah.
without the fancy bit.
The margaritas in El Paso are no joke.
Yeah?
Did you ever
get
had
wrecked?
the margaritas there?
No.
There were two sizes
at
at this
that
place we
Carajillo.
went to.
So good.
The normal, like the small size and the Texas sized. We ordered the normal size, and I got drunk off of one.
Nice.
It was
That's value.
It was just tequila and ice. I think, like that's it. I don't think there was anything else in there.
So did you miss the party the other day?
I did.
Oh, it was
Thanks
good.
for noticing I wasn't there.
Well, I just did now.
They did a really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was.
Don't say yeah. You didn't see shit.
I did. I saw everything on social. I was having, and I've never used this term for myself before, but a serious FOMO.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like really bummed out to miss it. Everyone seemed to be having a really good time.
It was good for a party that was literally at work.
That's exactly
Yeah.
what Chris said.
Yeah.
He said it was a fun party, but also a really great party for stage 5.
Yeah. It was often forgot that there was a. Did you see the Jenga game? You weren't there.
I saw it.
Oh, you were there? I just assumed you wouldn't be there.
Apparently, Gavin was the only person at this party.
Yeah, there was a game of Jenga between Drew and Jessica Vasami that went on for like 45 minutes, maybe longer.
Yeah,
The crowd that gathered was phenomenal.
yeah.
And,
saw-
really,
someone-
really,
I don't
you're
even
really
remember.
selling this party.
I saw the angle, every single angle of this Jenga game from about 20 different people.
I was trying to pay Blaine to kick it over, but he wouldn't do it.
I want to point out, Gavin is mentioning that people left the orgy room in order to come out and watch the Jenga game.
Well, the
This
thing
sounds
is,
like the lamest party ever.
I hate giant Jenga because it always makes me jump when it falls down.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
Look at that.
that thing went
That's
so
fucking
tall.
rockin' party
How
right
did
there.
they even reach that?
Look at that. We're really doing a great
Where
job,
were
dude.
you?
What?
Where were you?
You didn't see me there?
Because you weren't
didn't
there.
see you there.
There were many unhygienic things about that party.
I'm
though.
sorry. I
The
was
ice
unable to make it.
sculpture?
The ice sculpture and the donut wall.
Were people drinking out of the ice sculpture? Was there like straws that they used on
There
it for
was
their...
it was like a shot thing where people would put their mouth at the bottom of it and
Yeah, they
pour
were just
shot
sucking
and-
on the little
like a
clear
luge?
hose at the bottom of it.
Didn't like all of Sugar Pine 7 get mono this exact same way?
No, they vape together
But that's the
and
same,
also suck each other off.
that's the same
probably.
fucking thing. That is the same thing.
There's
That was weird, the donut wall.
The donut wall,
Because there were metal nails.
No,
Oh.
it was wood.
That was wood.
Yeah.
wood nails.
Why is metal weirder than wood?
Metal, you've got rust and it would taste like metal.
You're fine.
If you wipe wood all over
fine.
my food, I'm probably not going to notice. If you wipe a rusty nail through it, I'm going to be like, man, blech.
Why does
Tastes
it
like
have to
blood.
be rusty?
What if it's beech wood? What? Could you tell the difference?
Let's try it. Let's try it. You wipe.
Clearly, beechwood aged beer tastes different.
He can't tell the difference, but it's beech wood. Sorry.
Why do you
Same
each
fucking
get the
same
exact
one.
same thing?
You literally made the first time you
joke.
say it. You said it's so lame now because you did it twice.
That was like in her internal draft folder.
It was.
Stop
It auto
posting your
posted.
drama.
I just want to say it again.
Reposting it.
Sorry, continue.
Imagine if those donuts could be charged with USB-C. That'd be the best.
All right. I want to remind everyone this episode of Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by Casper.
Yes.
Casper is a sleep brand that continues to revolutionize its line of products to create an exceptionally comfortable sleep experience one night at a time. Get $50 off of select mattresses by visiting casper.com/RT and using promo code RT at checkout. Casper's mattresses are designed by humans for humans, so stay away, robots. The original Casper mattress combines multiple supportive memory foams for a quality sleep surface with just the right sink and just the right bounce. Casper's breathable design helps you sleep cool and regulate your body temperature through the night. Buying the Casper is easy. You can order online. It's delivered to your door in a compact box, and you have free shipping and free returns to the US and Canada. I say it whenever I travel and I'm out of town. I really miss sleeping in my own bed. It's Casper, super comfortable. No other bed is like it. Considering we spend 1/3 of our lives on a mattress, it's so important to truly sleep on a mattress before committing. That's why Casper gives you 100 nights to try it out. Get $50 towards select mattresses by visiting casper.com/RT and using promo code RT at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. That's $50 towards select mattresses by visiting casper.com/RT and using promo code RT at checkout. Thanks, Casper, for sponsoring this episode of the Rooster Teeth podcast.
What if the plane with the beds in had Casper mattresses?
Ooh.
As you would have to be on that all the time. That would be better.
Can I sit as well, or do I have to lay down?
Why do you want to sit so badly?
I just don't imagine that laying for 17 hours straight, like with this in like a coffin, would be comfortable.
But what if there was a screen there and you're watching Avengers on it?
What have I seen? Like I've seen every movie on the fucking plane. I guarantee you.
I think it'd be different if you could maybe like tilt it up a little bit, like one of those or the
you guys want
the
everything.
kind that you can like sit up.
Just
Okay,
a
what
little
if
bit.
then?
Right.
What if you could get all of your lower plane mates to all vote for the thing, like all bending up, so you could sit down? Like imagine the head and the legs coming.
Then I have
up.
to rely on some other assholes to vote with me.
You already rely on that when they lean when somebody leans their.
Listen, they are obligated to that space. I'm not going to begrudge anyone for reclining their chair.
I do every time.
No, they paid for that space on the plane. They can fucking have that.
You know,
space.
part of not traveling this year that I was excited about was not talking about fucking traveling, and here we are talking about fucking traveling.
We're talking about made up travel though. You can't.
People love my Zorball idea in chat. By the way, the Zorb Airlines. I think we're onto something.
I would travel like Sea of Thieves and load me into a cannon and just fire me to Los Angeles. That'd be fucking awesome.
That would hurt your feet.
Are you still playing that game?
I am. I'm still playing that game. I am. But I'm running out of steam. They're gonna make an update in May and then another update in the summer, which I don't know what that means to them, but it'll probably August, September. They said they were gonna take player feedback and focus on more events and things like that, and they were gonna have to back burner other plans they had. Their initial plan was to make pets. I don't think anybody's fucking looking for pets. I don't think about
pets when I think of Sea of Thieves.
No, they're looking for shit.
Pets?
They're looking for shit to do.
I didn't think
Probably parrot. Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about pets when I played The Sims, but then they came out with Sim Pets, and it was all over.
Did you like it?
I did.
What kind of pet did you get?
I made dogs every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I was living vicariously through The Sims because I didn't have a pet when I was growing up.
But to be fair, a lot of people were playing The Sims to begin with. People are really falling off Sea of Thieves.
Very true. And The Sims.
Well, yeah, after 8 years or whatever.
I think it's been like 50.
I think it was 8 hours for Sea of Thieves.
A little longer.
Touche.
There's something I'm tired of, and I don't want to deal with anymore.
You?
Yeah. I'm tired of people sending me links to YouTube drama sites that are like, oh, look at this. This site's talking shit about you. I don't care.
I don't think I've ever had.
Well, that's what people do that all the time.
Like,
they want to watch people fight. Like,
right? It's like I'm not going to engage
Like
these other people.
Why are people talking shit? What have you done?
I'm not going to talk about it. Like I can tell you off camera. I'm not going to say it here because I don't want more people to go find these videos. But it's like you don't have to send that to me. I appreciate it. People can talk shit all they want. I don't give a fuck what those other people are saying about me.
Yeah, because it's like, what can you do?
Right. I'm not gonna engage with those people. They're obviously just trying to get a reaction out of me, and my reaction is I don't care.
But this is the reaction.
You can send this to them. I don't care. There you go.
Are we allowed to ask why you're covered in paint?
Oh, I was just shooting, and okay. So Dan's in town, so we're shooting like crazy, and I feel like I like plonk the camera on the tripod at like 9 a.m. and suddenly it's like 4:30, and I'm like, oh, I'll go to the podcast. But yeah, I didn't have time.
I'm guessing you're doing something with paint then today.
Yeah, this is all the paint that bounced off Dan. My favorite
was Anna's reaction, who's our makeup artist. She does a lot of productions with us. You walked in, I think, like 10 minutes before the podcast was going to start, and she just looked at you and she's like, "Oh God."
Well, first she thought it was a vein because it's kind of pale blue. Yeah. She thought I was ill or something, so she cleaned all the face stuff off.
The chat is very happy, Barbara. They've been asking this whole episode, why is Gavin blue? And everyone is now saying, thank you, Barbara, for finally asking.
I'm the voice of the people.
See, I was just doing it for the audio listeners who never would have known.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, there was a, going back to what you were saying about people like trying to like, oh, hey, look what this guy's saying about you. Who gives a shit? Let him say it. Who cares? I hate too when you're having a conversation, or we're having a conversation on the podcast, and people will go out of their way to tag somebody we talked about.
Yeah.
Or or we're not even talking about a person, we're talking about a thing. Like if somehow people who knew who the CEO of Allegiant Airlines was like, oh, check it out. They're talking shit about you. What are you going to do? And they like sit back and like watch the mayhem. I just watched that happen where one of the Optic guys from Optic Gaming, he was really fucking all over. Boss Key put out Radical Heights. Have you played it?
No.
It's so Cliffy B's left Epic in the middle of Fortnite's development, then went to started Boss Key. Right? It's his. He started it, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
And then they were working on Lawbreakers. Lawbreakers debuted. Obviously, it's arguably didn't do very well. And arguably, it'd be hard to argue otherwise. The game did not do well. And so then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Boss Key announced that they were making a BR or a battle royale game called Radical Heights.
Oh, I never about this.
It's kind of like Smash TV mixed with Fortnite a little bit. Is what it seems like. And man, one of the Optic guys just went on a rant. Optic Diesel rant about how it's going to suck. He said, "Who is the snake oil salesman at Boss Key? First massive flop that was Lawbreakers, and now someone came up with a cute show-based BR game, and BMX bikes will likely beat the 7,482 max lifetime concurrent Lawbreakers had, but not by much." The best thing about this tweet is later that day, after people started streaming it, and I think the Fortnite servers went down, which was very fortuitous. He came back and goes, I was completely wrong. This game is good. Sorry, everybody. But in the middle of that, him talking about how he didn't like this fucking game, there's like 4 or 5 people in there. All they did was like tagging Cliffy B. It's like, okay, first of all, Cliffy B's got enough to do trying to launch a new game, after a game that didn't do so well. He doesn't need to be involved with this guy who's complaining about it. Also, it's like, what are you trying to do there? It's like,
yeah, you just want to see people fight?
Yeah, you just want to see people. You're making essentially 2 people feel bad. Granted, it was a pretty serious rant, but then like tagging Cliffy B in it, so Cliffy B has to read this criticism. It's just like,
yeah, what's he do? He's just checking his timeline. It's like, what?
Get another fucking hobby. Yeah, do something else, man.
Yeah,
it just sucks. It's like he's having enough trouble as it is.
It makes me afraid to talk about anyone, even positively, because you want to talk about people, but not to them sometimes.
Talking about people positively, what's that like? No, I know. It's just a weird thing, too. And it's like, you definitely should be able to back up what you're saying, if you're upset about something. But it's like somehow tagging the person and not the company makes it so personal. It's like, that's not your job to do that,
Do you compliment people to other people more than you compliment them to themselves?
Okay, what?
I probably do. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You like, I would talk more positively about Gavin to you than I would to Gavin himself.
Well, I was talking about someone to someone else the other day. I was like, yeah, they're great, do really well. And I was like, oh, I should probably tell them at some point. But then it's weird. I can't just walk up to someone and be like, I think you're really good.
You're weird, Gavin. That sounds like something you would deal with.
I'm with you.
I will literally text people out of the clear blue sky and say, hey, for whatever reason, I was sitting here and I was just thinking about you and thinking about how cool what you're working on is. And I just haven't talked to you in a long time. And I just want to let you know I'm thinking about you. I text that on a regular basis.
People who work here?
No, like friends in LA that I haven't seen in a while.
Brady texts me that every day.
Not exclusively people who work here. But like if somebody does something well, like I've complimented Barbara just out of clear blue sky and texting, hey, that thing you did today was really fucking great. This is really cool and it worked really well.
I want to compliment someone. I'm glad we're bringing this up. I want to compliment the broadcast crew.
Go ahead.
We had so someone called me out for this at the end of last week's podcast, I think it was, where I kind of ended it abruptly because it was going a little long and Miles was telling a story. And the reason I ended it abruptly is because last Monday the crew had to be here really early, so we filmed Heroes and Halfwits all day, and then they had to do a quick turnaround to get ready for the podcast. So
complimenting you, throwing them under the bus.
No, what I'm saying is they worked I think longer than a 12-hour day on Monday, and then they had to be here early again on Tuesday morning because we had to film more Heroes and Halfwits.
That's not a true compliment because you're saving yourself.
I think so. I'm with Gavin on this.
No. Previous. You're like justifying your motives, which were deemed.
I compliment the broadcast crew all the time. I got no skin in the game at all.
Thank you, broadcast crew. I don't know why I'm being
Should we let the
fucking
broadcast
dragged
crew
here
vote
this.
on it?
Thank you. There you go. I'm absolved.
Cody speaks for all broadcasts.
Well, there's one thank you and nothing else, so that's unanimous.
Touche.
The thing that always amazes me about the broadcast crew is the fact that someone will say, I don't even know if they clear it with them first, but someone will say, hey, we're doing a live theater mode in, at the Paramount. It's going to be awesome. And the broadcast crew is like, I guess we're going to go fucking move all the entire setup to the fucking Paramount Theater for one night and then come back. And there's no interruption in anything that we do in the studio.
You've never heard the answer, but all our stuff's here.
Yeah. Nope.
They're just like, I guess we're doing it.
I guess we're doing it.
I think when we were filming Heroes and Halfwits one of the days, Michael said that they have the hardest job at Rooster Teeth because they're forced to watch the content.
Dude, I watch content and reviews. People talk about all the time that we make so much content you can't watch it all. I watch most of it like 2 or 3 times by the time it comes out.
What do you watch?
Fucking drives me crazy sometimes. All the shit I have to watch again and again and again and again and again.
Do you ever watch Always Open?
Not Let's Plays, but yeah, not a lot of broadcast stuff, but definitely like everything animated, everything live action that we do, anything that's even like, so not necessarily Achievement Hunter, but Achievement Hunters. I will have seen that probably 5 times. Every doc like 6 times.
You watch Always Open at like 4 or 5 times each?
I don't have to do it for reviews. I do it because I enjoy it. And that's how I know to compliment you and text you.
Oh, and he got nothing out of that. That was just a straight up compliment.
Well, it also shows that he like dedicates a lot of his time to making our content good, which in a way is kind of.
Well, I don't want to take that responsibility. I just fire people who do shitty jobs.
Yeah, I watch a load of Achievement Hunter stuff before it's up. Like it'll get uploaded, but not live. That's when I get in there and watch it.
I like watching the occasional Achievement Hunter and Funhouse video too. Sugar Pine. People that I'm like more far removed from. That I have no idea what you guys are doing, so it's watching it very fresh.
Yeah, it was fun watching Spring Break.
Yeah.
I
really like that.
Do you think the most popular series or show at this company that you have not seen? Is there anything?
I guess if you want to get down to it,
this is gonna be weird. Is it gonna sound like we're insulting people's content?
Yeah, I don't want to say what I haven't seen.
Yeah,
I think it's more of just like there's so much. That like even the people who work here can't watch everything.
That's true. There's a lot of stuff.
I guess technically a lot of the Achievement Hunter series I haven't seen a lot of. Like I've never seen the You're Dead, You Dead?
Yeah, I mean that's just Minecraft though. It's just let's play Minecraft really. I haven't seen any Sugar Pine 7.
Really?
At all?
But I've heard it's great.
Dude, you should watch the first episode of season 3. It's one of my favorites.
I like the Alfredo episode.
Yeah. Good stuff. It's good stuff. There's something about that sketch that they did in the bike shop at the beginning of season 3 that's just so fucking funny to me. Like Steven is just like he's fucking hilarious in it. I love it. And it's got Chasm G in it. I just like Chasm.
Their improv skills are very impressive, those guys.
That's a word for it. Yeah.
The guy from Transformers?
Excruciatingly annoying.
Chasm G?
Wasn't he?
It's very entertaining for people who watch it. For the rest of us who like have to interface with them, it's like it never stops. It never fucking stops.
Nope.
And you don't know where the lines are.
Yeah, where were we? Was it in Sydney? Where James and Steven Suptic were just like doing movies together. It's like, okay, I'm gonna be Gladiator and you be Maximus, go, or or you be the Emperor, go. And it's like they would do a scene. Okay, like give us another movie. It's like, okay, guys,
well, they're running drills.
Yeah, it's like calm down. They're just like we're going movie, just like recreating all of these scenes.
They're keeping fresh, man.
It was really fucking funny. I was like, guys, you don't have to be on. Like, just fucking chill out.
You can chill and just talk about how life is.
Relax. Yeah, it's all good.
How your dog is.
Hey, speaking of RTX Sydney, did anybody else see that weird story that the city of Sydney wants to break up into 3 cities?
No.
Why would you caught that Barb and Gav did this like mutual lean away from you when you
said the exact same moment.
Yeah.
What?
They want to break up. I think it was like Western Sydney, like the Central Business District, CBD, and then Eastern Harbour.
There would be 3 different cities?
It'd be 3 different cities.
Well, which one would be the capital?
None of them
are the capital.
No, it's Canberra.
But it's just such a weird idea that a city would want to break up like that.
Yeah.
And they really, like, in the article I read, it didn't seem like, I didn't understand what the motivation was. Or what the reasoning behind it would be.
Are they like, it's not me, it's you?
It's a mutual thing.
Dude, can you imagine, though, there's so many regional conflicts in Australia, or rivalries, maybe conflicts isn't the right word. Like if you go to Melbourne and you mentioned that you were in Sydney recently, everyone boos.
Like, oh.
Now it's like, we're going to have that inside of
They're like,
oh,
you were in Sydney too? Oh, gross. Sydney 3 for life.
Get fucked, mate. Then they're all like a different sport in Sydney 3. Yeah.
Sydney 3. Yeah. No, it's Sydney, but instead of an E, it's the number 3.
Yeah.
Like Driver 3.
Yeah, exactly the same thing. Patrick's saying they're called 30-minute cities so that people are 30 minutes from either work, school, or recreations at all time. I mean, this is called live close to where you work.
Well,
I guess if you work like downtown, you can't necessarily live there. It's expensive.
Not everybody.
But I don't know. That's weird.
How does LA work? Because no one's 30 minutes.
It's all hydraulics in LA.
And
all hydraulics.
And bearings.
Did you also hear that, I guess there's a flesh-eating ulcer epidemic in Australia right now?
Flesh-eating ulcers?
Yes.
So aren't ulcers, isn't that what an ulcer is? So it eats flesh? It's like a hole in your flesh?
Is that?
An ulcer in your stomach is a hole in your stomach.
So an ulcer is like a sore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is an ulcer in your mouth just an open sore?
Yeah. What do you think it is?
I thought it was a lump.
Here's the here's the BBC headline: Australia flesh-eating ulcer epidemic, a mystery. Doctors say.
No, you never want to read that.
Yeah, I heard. Let's see. It's local cases of Buruli ulcer, a skin disease most commonly found in Africa, have surged by 400% in the last 4 years. Experts say, and the images are fucking gross.
You don't want that. Fucking smallpox is
And doctors do not know how to prevent the disease, which is caused by bacteria that breaks down tissue.
Fuck me.
It's I think it's in Victoria right now in Australia.
And wasn't there a big thing with lettuce? Like you can't eat lettuce now?
I know they banned alfalfa sprouts at Jimmy John's.
What?
For a little bit. There's a salmonella outbreak.
Oh, I thought it was...
Common carrier of salmonella, I think, is alfalfa sprouts. What are they called? Sprouts?
Sprouts.
And then little
sprouts?
green onions, little chive onions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see?
I don't know. I can't help you. Did you read that? Speaking of weird diseases, though, the stuff you never want to read ever. Like you don't want to read about a mystery disease that's gaining steam and they don't know what's causing it and they don't know what. I mean, I remember that actually happened in my lifetime. I remember when AIDS first came to light, or I don't know what the word is, became an epidemic, and they didn't know what the fuck it was, and they called it the gay flu at first. Then they thought they didn't know if it was airborne or not, and they just knew that people in usually homosexual men were dying of this disease where they were losing weight rapidly, and they didn't know what it was.
Do you think it turned
frightening?
Do you think it turned anyone straight?
It probably made people avoid sex.
Were there any gay dudes like
sex?
gay dudes going around? It's like, man, this AIDS thing is wiping us out. I'm just gonna get married to a woman and like live a life.
Gavin.
You mean aside from all the other pressures back then?
What? Is in like I'm just gonna live a lie the rest of my life to see. To hope I don't. What? Someone must.
In my
What's
best
wrong
interest?
with you? Like, I mean, flip the scenario. What if it was like heterosexual people were getting disease? Or are you going to change your sexuality? Can you change your sexuality?
That's what I'm saying. Living a lie. A lot of people had to do it back in the days. Back in the old days.
Somebody do it for health reasons?
Yeah, it was someone just like, sod it. I mean, I'm done with dick.
You can just stop having sex. You don't have to go have sex with somebody else.
Well, sure.
I get it.
What is wrong with you?
I don't think it's that. I mean, obviously, I understand like what that is, what that means. You can't just turn off being gay.
Sure, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I bet some people did it for like because of society and because of their parents or whatever.
Which is also probably
some people
a level of paranoia.
I don't know what's killing us. I'm just gonna pretend to be straight.
Like you're gonna try to trick the disease? Like you're pretending. What the hell is wrong with you? The fucking virus is in the air. Like, oh no, that guy looks straight. I'm not gonna infect him.
It's like the Ten Commandments story of God flying over the houses that had or the angel of death flying over the house that had the lamb's blood.
Right.
They're just like, oh, this guy's with a woman. Whoop. Like,
there are still people who have to hide their sexuality even today,
even from diseases,
except from the actual diseases. Maybe
that can be the cure in Australia. They could just pretend like they're from New Zealand, and then they would get the ulcers. They can just do that.
Oh my god!
If you think about it, could cure everything.
Look, people make rash decisions when they don't understand what's killing people.
Very true.
Like some people, I'm sure, went underground.
I heard too that in the bubonic plague days, there were entire communities of people that would hold festivals where they just danced constantly because they said if you danced, you wouldn't get it.
I thought that was a separate thing.
But then there's also a disease where it'll make you dance and then you die.
Right. There was like an outbreak of this dancing disease. I thought it was a different thing. Or no one ever fully understood it.
Right.
It was like whole villages would just start going into this dancing mania and then just like all die.
But somehow that stuff goes away. Like you always hear about like some disease that's like doesn't get hold, like Ebola when the guy had it in Dallas, and I was like, oh shit. And I got my box out of the garage and I'm ready to like go to the bunker.
Ebola, that was the lettuce thing.
What?
Wasn't it?
Lettuce and Ebola?
Are you talking about E. coli?
Oh yeah.
That's totally different. That's totally different.
I'm not having a good day. I've been out in the sun all day. I'm kind of hot.
Ebola is the one you get from chickens, right?
Yes, of course, obviously.
We're going to give out nothing but bad information. But we didn't even talk about this. I'm always
Just pretend
paranoid.
you're vegetarian and you don't get it.
Did you just do that? Did you ever read The Stand growing up?
I did.
Oh, dude. There was a thing. Did you read about, I want to say it was like 45 days ago, or maybe 2 months now at this point, where the dude who worked at the CDC
Oh, yeah.
didn't feel good and went home and then disappeared. And he was a guy who worked with infectious diseases at the CDC. And then they just found his body like 2 weeks ago in a river. So this guy who worked at the CDC and felt bad enough to go home one day and disappeared off the face of the earth.
Sounds like he was murdered.
Fishy's not the right word to say there, but something's odd with that.
I'm going to speak very broadly about this, but I know someone who was watching the news recently and saw a name in the news, like somebody so-and-so was arrested for fraud. And the person I know was like, oh, that's weird. I know someone with that name. And didn't think anything of it. And then the next, that person thought, I work with someone who has that same name. The person I know went to work the next day and that person was not there. And that person has not been back since.
Shit.
It's like,
Did they figure out if it was that person?
It was that person. It's like, that's how they found out, was watching the news and seeing that person's name there. And it's like, oh, yep, they're just gone. They got sent to jail or whatever.
Wow.
That's weird. Something I never thought about. Like, if they finally found the bodies and I got arrested, later tonight, I just wouldn't show up to work tomorrow.
It's crazy how much you think you know someone, and then shit like that happens, and it just like, I don't know. What's the biggest secret you're hiding from people?
Why would you say that?
Why would you ask him a podcast?
Yeah. What a great format for this.
The story's so weird. He told his neighbors the day he disappeared, he told his neighbors to delete his phone number from their phones so they wouldn't have any record of him.
The CDC person?
Yeah.
Do you think he committed suicide?
I don't know. I mean, he sounds like he was under some kind of mental strain, but I don't know. The whole thing just reads like some like crazy first chapter of a Stephen King book.
Yeah.
I never read The Stand.
What's your deepest, darkest secret,
time.
Barbara, that you're not telling
I
anyone?
don't have any.
You don't have any?
No, I'm great.
I know a couple that I can tell about you. Can I?
Dun dun.
Look at that. I just got a.
Did
Now I'm curious what you know.
I don't know anything. I don't know anything.
TJ Miller got arrested.
What's that?
Bomb threat?
Did you see TJ Miller got arrested?
Yeah.
What's up, man? What's up with TJ Miller? What's going on?
That's
He was the Emoji Movie guy, right? No. Who was
Would you? TJ Would you? TJ Major?
Was he in the Emoji Movie?
I never watched the Emoji movie.
He was the star of the Emoji Movie. In fact, we should have known he was on a bad path when he quit fucking Silicon Valley and said in an article that Silicon Valley is in the future of entertainment. Parachuting into the Cannes Film Festival to show people the Emoji Movie. That's the future of entertainment. That's what he wanted to be more a part of.
Right.
It's like, dude, you had seen the Emoji Movie by that point in time. You knew what you were talking about. That's fucked up.
Maybe he liked it.
Ugh. Have you seen it?
No.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
All right.
I recently read that Jordan Peele of Key and Peele, that, he apparently retired from acting, but he was offered a role in the Emoji Movie, and that made him retire from acting.
Really?
Wow.
Was that he was offered a role
I don't blame him.
in the movie. I gotta look that up.
I wonder why the name of the Emoji Movie wasn't just the emoji for movie.
What's the emoji for movie?
Like the little real
director
thing.
And
Because people wouldn't
not
know-
the camera?
Yeah. Well, I guess.
I mean, there's ambiguity there.
It's true.
People wouldn't know what to call it.
The Emoji Movie.
People would
Film-
be like, you
I
want
guess
to,
they would call it the movie emoji.
Film Canister, the movie.
yeah, you want to go and see film camera thing?
The Emoji Movie really helped me quit acting. Peele confessed at the podium. I was offered the role of poop. This is true, he added. I would not make this up. And that went to Patrick Stewart.
Wasn't Patrick Stewart?
Yep. The poop emoji.
He took it.
So bad.
Yeah.
He did it. Oh man.
And now you could, with an iPhone 10, you can be the poop emoji whenever you want.
Well, I'm never getting an iPhone 10.
Shit, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I guess
When Peele's manager told him about the offer, Peele responded, "That's fucked up." Then after a beat said, I'm gonna sleep on it. The next day, Peele said he called his manager back to see, just out of curiosity, what the studio was offering to pay him. But Peele's window for the degrading opportunity had already closed. My manager said they've already given it to Patrick Stewart. And I was like, well, fuck this. And he quit acting after that.
And so is he just directing now?
I guess so. It's like I'm struggling with this whether or not I'm going to take this role of a shit emoji, and then I wake up to find out I lost the opportunity to one of the greatest actors of our time. Good Lord.
Oh,
Awful.
Yeah, I never saw that.
Infinity War's coming out really soon, right?
Like next week, buddy.
A week and a half. Jesus.
Do you get tickets for opening night?
I do.
I do too.
I never go to see a movie right away as soon as it comes out, but I know it's going to get spoiled or something's going to happen. So I was like, I got to watch this movie like immediately.
Dude, I thought I was going to be well into Marvel fatigue at this point. I'm pretty good. Black Panther, did you see Thor Ragnarok and Black Panther are now my favorite Marvel movies.
Me too. But you see Black Panther just became the #3 highest grossing domestic movie?
It's fucking awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
So much money.
Did you see A Quiet Place?
I did. We talked about it last week. It's very good.
It's impossible to eat literally anything while watching that movie.
I think that movie should be played in an anechoic chamber. And then you'd really hear
your own heartbeat.
I feel like I could hear my own throat making noise.
Yeah, but I feel like too those the antagonists. I don't want to spoil anything. Those antagonists, I feel like they should be able to hear better because that's all they have.
Like if there's someone in the room breathing.
Breathing, yeah. Man, if they just get that close to you and they can hear you breathing. But I guess then it would just be like.
But there was always something louder, which is why they couldn't hear.
Yeah, sort of. Sometimes there was. I don't know. Sometimes it was like my heart. I feel like sometimes I can hear my own heartbeat when things are serious and it's very quiet. And I feel like that thing should be able to hear that as well. You know.
That's fair. But then it'd also have to hear its own heart.
Good. There's so many scenes in that are just like, how you know it has a heart, that thing?
There are some things that I feel like...
If it has blood, it has a heart.
Well, how you know it has...
Because of the blood.
There were some jump scares in that movie that I think were a little bit, unnecessary. It's not going to spoil anything, but there was, a raccoon that fell off a roof at one point in the movie, and it makes this shriek, loud explosion sound.
Yeah.
It's the fucking raccoon!
I don't mind that. People get mad. They think jump scares are cheap. I like them.
Oh, well, that whole movie's about jump scares, essentially.
Yeah.
Loud noises. If you ever caught a cold, you die.
It's very true.
You can't. It's hard to hide a cough sound.
Dude, I snore. What? I'm dead. 2 seconds, I'm dead. Just
put yourself in one of those little covered mattress box things.
See, I don't think that would work, man. My snore can cut through, buddy.
I vouch for that.
They would. I don't think I snore as much as I used to. Either that or Ashley has gotten completely used to it.
There's no way you snore less.
Well, what do you think is more likely, that I snore less or that Ashley...
Probably Ashley got used to it.
Got used to it? Maybe.
You don't use that snore lab anymore?
I should try, but I don't want to know. I want to live in ignorance.
How are you supposed to clean your ears?
My ears in particular? Garden hose.
Your own.
You're supposed to, I think, put drops in it that you buy that kind of dissolve the wax.
And then you go good to one side and it all drips out. But I would
also
go get my ears cleaned with all you guys. Go to an audiologist and get the whole thing to see what
I've done that before.
Is that a term? Audiologist?
Audiologist.
It's incredible.
Have you?
Yeah.
Because you can hear everything after that.
Everything. Showers after that happens they sound like thunder.
But I think you're meant to keep a lot of wax, though.
You're supposed to have a level of wax, but if it's too much where it's actually blocking.
And if you've ever used a Q-tip, it's mush, mush, mush. You're pushing it in.
It's impacting it.
And then
I think I want to buy one of those endoscopes. So I can see.
There's also you can get your ears flushed out too at a lot of doctors.
I don't like that though. I got a moth stuck in my ear when I was mowing the lawn one time. That's horrible. It was alive in my ear. And I can't tell you, there's nothing worse than the feeling of having a loud noise in your ear and then you cover your ear to block the noise, but it's on the inside of your hand.
It's like having a light bulb under your eyelid.
You cover your ear and usually that works 100% of the time, but I covered my ear and then it's like flutter, like bang, bang, bang.
I feel like a moth couldn't fit inside my ear canal.
Yeah, mine got in.
Why
got
you
in there.
Pull it out.
I tried to, but when you go to grab it, it would freak out and go in further.
And a moth is all dusty and it sheds that crap.
It's actually my neighbor. It was down in Buda, and my neighbor said, he saw me dealing with it. He was like, I got it. He was just trying it with a pair of tweezers, and then he said to Jordan, he goes, just go get some rubbing alcohol. And he poured rubbing alcohol in my ear, killed it. It was like, what a fucking relief. But I still had to go to the doctor, and then there was legs and shit in there, and they had to flush it out. It was so loud. It was so loud.
How did this happen?
It was like
a nightmare.
I was mowing the lawn, and a bunch of fucking moths flew, and I go, look at all these moths flying. I was like, what is that?
Yeah,
it was so loud.
I've heard people getting roaches in their ears too, and shit like that.
Also, who mows the lawn without listening to music?
What's wrong with you?
Most people, probably.
What are you doing while you're mowing the lawn?
I was singing at the top of my lungs. Duran Duran.
I don't know why in A Quiet Place they didn't just create a load of permanent, really loud noise.
I agree.
Like, just run the loudest generators.
Everybody have a jam box. You throw it like a grenade.
Plot hole.
A little bit.
Also, they didn't put... They always... you talked about this last week, right? All the staircases were just wood, creaky stairs.
Yeah, but that was really cool production design. Did you not notice that?
Go ahead.
So the set designers in A Quiet Place were amazing. All the staircases had painted places where they could step on it and it wouldn't creak. You didn't notice?
I saw that on the wooden floors, yeah. But why not just put rugs on them?
I mean, I think the painting of the stairs showed that how they had adapted.
I think it's the weight on the wood that makes it creak.
She makes a point.
Right, but I think just walking on hard wood is louder than walking on a rug.
Sure, but it still
It's
makes
still going to creak.
They did take off their shoes.
That's fair.
They all had bare feet all the time, I think.
It's a good movie.
It's like me in PUBG. No shoes.
Is that actually quieter?
It's a different sound.
Mm.
I like whenever I play with... There's people I play with regularly. I make sure that none of us have shoes. That way, if I hear footsteps, I can tell if it's our footsteps or someone else's. Or someone else without
I
shoes.
feel like they're just as loud, though.
It's comparable, but it's a different sound.
That's why I can't stand when we play like 10-person in the custom games on Friday.
Yeah, I can't stand
They'll do
10-person games.
People just talk constantly. It's like, guys, this game is like 60% audio in some situations. You need to hear just as much as you need to be able to see.
I had to ask someone the last time I played a 10-man squad, I had to ask someone to stop talking.
Yeah.
I was like, listen, I said, listen, I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible, but you need to talk a lot less.
Is it a stranger?
It was like, it was someone from the community. It was like a Rooster Teeth community server.
Yeah.
It was like, we need to be listening right now. Like,
right.
I can't hear anything.
Can't you separate your volumes between chat?
It was in-game chat.
You can just control T to mute it, but yeah. But then you also lose, if you're listening to the all channel, like everyone in the community games is chatting a bunch, so you can always still hear when people walk up. If they've got push to talk open and they're on all, then you can hear them like, walking up and saying their shit. It's fun though. It's JD runs the ones on Friday night and he has a blast doing it.
Yeah, Tony still plays a lot of PUBG.
PUBG.
Yeah, it's what do you think is, we're going to get this whole conversation here, but what do you think is the reason why Fortnite really just usurped PUBG?
Free.
It's free, right?
And it's also like more cartoony.
Also, I think it's
violent,
like,
yeah.
I don't think people aren't really talking about it. You can't neglect the PS4 aspect of this.
The PS4 aspect?
Yeah, the PUBG's not on the PS4 because it was exclusive to Xbox and then PC as well. I just think so many more people have a PlayStation 4 than have either an Xbox One or a PC that's capable of running PUBG. But it's weird, though. It's like, I often want to ask people when they say, like, the game is unplayable. I don't see it that way, but I do know a lot of people complain about it being unplayable. It must be the Xbox version, right? Because I played the Xbox version once and was like, what the fuck is this?
It's gotten better, but it's still rough. It's not like the PC. And for a long time, PUBG was tough to run on PC. I don't know if you remember that. Like, you had to have a really beefy computer. It was so poorly optimized at first.
Really?
It's come a long way since then. You can play it on just about anything.
I played Warzone. Not a fan of Warzone. That's like the deathmatch.
It's good for target practice.
Just learning the mechanics of shooting?
Yeah, it's great for target practice.
Are there any genuine Xbox exclusives that aren't also on PC with Microsoft? Like, if you have a PS4 exclusive, that's the only place it is.
Oh yeah, well they're not gonna put like Sony Vios or whatever. No, but that's part of Xbox One platform. What's the gaming crossover they call it?
Like Play Anywhere?
Play Anywhere, yeah.
Yeah, fucking I love it.
I love it, but I don't think enough games use it.
It's all like their
you
first.
just asked it though.
Mainly
Something
their
is
first party
exclusive.
stuff.
Right, I'm saying that I can't think of a game that's only on Xbox.
Because it's also on PC?
Yeah.
Right.
But then you said enough games don't use it.
Well, there are still some games that are on PC and on Xbox that you can't play anywhere with it.
Because the only exclusives to the Xbox platform would be Microsoft developed, and all the Microsoft developed games use Play Anywhere.
That's what I'm saying.
PUBG's exclusive to the Xbox, but it's not
on PC.
I know. You guys are talking in circles around.
Okay,
this. What's
name
your
a
question?
game. Name a game.
Hey, what's Blaine's over there? He's eating our fucking subs. What are you doing?
Get that sub out of your
You
mouth.
just did that without asking.
Blaine, you could have a sub.
I don't eat on Mondays from home. Just
So Blaine says he doesn't eat at home. He just wanders around and eats food. So, all right.
What?
Good to see you, Blaine.
Why don't you understand what I'm saying here?
Okay, here's what I'm hearing. You wondered if there's any games that are exclusive just to Xbox, or are they on Xbox and PC? And I said, yeah, it's part of the Play Anywhere thing where they try to have one platform. They have, if you have it for Xbox, they also have it playable on the PC. And you said, yeah, but enough games don't do that. But you were making 2 points. The first point was saying, are there any games that are just exclusive to the Xbox? And you're saying, not enough games do the Play Anywhere. So, if that's the case, whatever games you're saying that don't use it enough, they're exclusive to the Xbox. Fucking dick.
You can have a game on Xbox and PC that isn't Play Anywhere.
Do you think Play Anywhere means cross-play? Is that what you think it means?
Is that not what it means?
I don't know. It just means if you buy it on the Xbox, you have it on the PC. That's our confusion. Cross-play is when you can get in a match with people from different platforms.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like I bought Gears of War 4 on my Xbox and I can play it on PC. To me, that's Play Anywhere.
Okay.
You can
finally,
play either.
Finally, there's one. Who is this? Ashley Chance, Sunset Overdrive.
Okay.
That's before the Play Anywhere, though. That's like 4 years
don't
ago.
you understand my
Why are you getting mad? I found one. I found one.
Halo 3 is an Xbox exclusive that's not on PC.
It's not on Xbox One either.
I can play it on my Xbox One.
I'm saying it came out from the 360 era.
What is Sunset Overdrive? Is that Xbox One?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
I don't know. I was super excited about Sunset Overdrive, and I was mildly disappointed by the release.
Really?
I was super excited about it.
Good game.
I hear that. I hear that from people.
I hear that. I'm disappointed.
I was disappointed nonetheless. I still don't understand the point of this conversation. We had this whole conversation, this whole argument about this. I don't know what we were talking about.
Why don't you understand the difference between I own a game on Xbox, I have it on PC for free, and also I own a game on Xbox, I still have to buy it again on PC if I want to.
I understand the concept. I don't understand what you're saying. Are there any games that are exclusive on Xbox? And then turning around immediately saying, not enough games do the Play Anywhere.
That was a separate comment based on you were saying Play Anywhere.
Well, if
I was asking
if you say not enough games do it, the games that don't do it are the ones that are exclusive. That's what I'm saying.
No, they're not exclusive because some of them you have to buy over here and you buy them again over here. That's not Play Anywhere. That's a game on Xbox and a game on PC.
Okay.
Halo 5 and Master Chief Collection.
Love it. Thanks.
All right.
I'm done.
Let's be done with this. Thanks.
I had something else to talk about.
gotta take a shower.
I can't forget what it was now because he fucking upset me.
Let's say it. Let's go.
I can't remember what it was. That's what I'm saying because you upset me, you fucking British person.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Oh, man.